Last episode, I came back from Rosslyn Chapel with footsteps recorded on my phone. This episode, I figure out what to do with them. I was looking for something dark, something atmospheric for this concept album, but the footsteps had their own ideas. It does not go the way I expected. We start here in Studio One. I used to use Cubase, but 30 years is a long time in music software, and I didn't see the point in going back to something I'd have to relearn anyway. Studio One is made by Presonus, now owned by Fender, and I like it because it's modern, it's clean, and honestly, I like shiny things. Anyway, I've got the raw files from the chapel, but they need surgery. First, getting the best hits. Soft, medium, loud, clean and consistent. I'm trimming the start so the transient hits immediately. No lag, just impact. Into Kontakt, which is basically a sampler. It turns any recorded sound into a playable instrument. This is where the magic happens. I layer the weights onto one key for left and right footsteps, and then adjust the velocity or how hard you hit the key to trigger the samples. Once the Kontakt instrument is saved, I can load into Maschine or just use the key roll to place them. I also recorded some shuffling, which I've mapped to a different key, sort of like a shaker or brushes on a hi-hat. Footstep. Just the stone floor talking. It's a solid pulse, very industrial. But it's not quite music yet. It needs a foundation. I'm adding a kick drum underneath, anchoring the downbeats. It gives the footsteps a reason to exist in a musical space. I'm just manually mapping it. I intend to record the whole track as a live performance once I have the composition down. Next, the snare. This is what locks it together. It's taking it away from being a sound effect and turning it into a beat. And finally, the hi-hats. Just enough energy to push the whole thing forward. Now we have a full kit. I needed something melodic underneath, dark, woody, and ancient sounding. On its own, it's pretty odd, but when you put it all together, it kinda sounds cool. And that's when I realized what I'd actually done. I'm sitting there listening to this, and something about it feels familiar. Not 1800s Transylvania familiar. Something else. Something I couldn't quite place. So I did what anyone would do. I went down a rabbit hole. And then I found him. Anthony Marinelli.
And tell me this isn't a merengue. Ding, 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 ding,
Yeah, I know, right?
Boom.
A merengue. Dracula's castle, grooving like a Dominican dance floor. I had accidentally written a Latin dance track in a haunted chapel. If it worked for Thriller, maybe it can work for a concept album about vampire hunters in 19th century Transylvania. Subscribe if you want to find out. Next episode, I try to make this thing actually sound dark and give it a theme, which means something has to change. Probably everything. See you then.